I like that, dude. You got
I got a whole new wardrobe.
you got 3 Disneyland hotel shirts over the
And a
last
hoodie.
like 6 months
Yeah, and a
or
hoodie.
9 months or whatever.
I love that stuff. Anyway, hey everybody, happy Monday. Getting ready to record this week's shows. I'm just slightly under the weather today, so hang with me, but we'll get through this and have some fun talking Disney. All right, so we are on episode 2264. Let me pull up a question here. Where are we going to start?
Dude, it's been a Monday. I know you're not feeling well. Like, I just been so tired. My scale is frustrating me. It's rainy as heck. Like, it's just not a good Monday.
Here it's beautiful. It's 80 and sunny right now. It's perfect.
Man. It is like cold and rainy here.
It is so nice out right now, and I just feel terrible. Oh, and it's like I even took a Dayquil because I'm like all day I've been freezing. Like I got the body aches and the chills. It's one of those things.
You know, Cal Ripken did take a day off. I'm just saying.
Nope. Got to make his number. I forget what it is, but we're getting close. Got to make the number. We're gonna make it.
That was one of my like favorite like sports moments like ever. Like just as a kid, I just really remember that. Like I'm running around the warning track and
Camden Yard, high five and all the fans. That was the best.
I was like, it was just unbelievable. Like it's because I was kind of younger. I can't remember what age I was, but I just remember like, dang, this must be like a serious thing if they're gonna just like stop the game for this, you know? Like,
you had to have been young, so I want to say I was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the man. Okay, here we go. Do the best we can. All right, 2264. Oh wait, let me hit this.
It was 1995, so I was like,
no, I wasn't in high school.
I was 11.
I was in college.
I was about to turn 12.
Yes, I graduated in 92, so I was in college. All right. Ooh, where'd the questions go? Here we go. All righty. Hey, Len. Len probably remembers that. All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 2264 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week. Thanks so much for downloading the show and spending some time with us. We're going to spend about the next 35 to 40 minutes talking random Disney topics because, of course, Wednesdays we tackle your listener questions. The inbox is full. We have folks in the live chat here on Facebook and YouTube. So who knows where we're going to go today? We're going to talk some Run Disney. I know that's the first question of the day. And to do that, my brother that runs all the races with me, well, at least most of them, Scotty G up in the mitten. What's up, Scott? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, Mike. If you're listening to this on the feed and you're sailing with us on the podcast cruise, I hope you made that final payment because we are past that deadline now.
Yes, because if you didn't, you're not sailing with us because that ship is
as simple as that.
Yep. Yes. So how are things this week? We've had some pretty decent weather down here in Missouri. I mean, it's almost a touch of summer with 80-degree weather, thunderstorms, things like that. Are things starting to turn up your way up north?
It's kind of turning, but we are off to a very wet April. Like we've had thunderstorms, lots of rain already, but the temps haven't been too bad, but you haven't been able to enjoy outside too much because of the overcast and the rain. But I'm hoping for Easter weekend coming up that the weather will be a little bit better. I'm hoping the golf, which would be nice. This time last year, Mike, I had already golfed like 3 or 4 times. It's killing me. I've not gotten out yet.
Yeah, I saw that, a few weeks back, you were killing me because, I know you went out with your brother. Not me, your real brother.
Yeah.
Not your brother from another mother, but your brother, Bob. And you were like walking a course that I believe is no longer a course and kind of reminiscing over this was where I had my first birdie and this kind of thing. I thought that was very cool to be able to go back and kind of have a nostalgic walk through a place that was special to you.
It was super cool. So as my brother's 6.5 years older than me, so summer vacations once he started driving were like a lot of fun because like I just hung out with my older brother and we'd like he could drive, so we would golf all the time. And we would golf cheaply at this one course, which is the one we went to, the Players Club. And it was cool. Like it was where he played his first round. It's where I had my first birdie, but the course closed like 15 to 20 years ago. And they've turned it into like a walking trail kind of now. And it was just cool. Like you said, we were just reminiscing. Like you can't picture out all the holes, but most of them you can. And there's the last hole like runs parallel to like one of our big freeways here in Lansing. And I must have hit so many balls into that freeway. And it was just kind of funny to like just see that again. It was super cool. But yeah, I'm excited to finally golf. Like, hopefully it'll happen soon because it's April 3rd or 5th or whatever day. I don't even know what day it is, but I should be out there golfing, and hopefully that will happen soon.
Well, the Masters starts tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I know. And that's normally like what gets you triggered, right? Like you see the beautiful Augusta greens and Rays Creek and all like those amazing sights of Augusta, and that it's funny. Like then all of a sudden, like that weekend, you see so many people out on the golf course because they're just like in the mood for it. So hopefully that'll be me.
A tradition like no other. The Masters.
It is. I mean, I know we talked about this on the live show too, like because I was telling Mike, our friend from North Carolina, there, like he's got that cabana at the Polynesian. Man, you just put that on in the background, like because Jim Nance will put you to sleep. Like,
he told me. But I was thinking about this after the show. He needs to bring like a pimento cheese sandwich or something. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those standards they have down there. I've never been
at Disney. Obviously. It would cost you like $9, but at the Masters, it's $1.50.
Is it really cheap there? I didn't know.
Oh my! You never seen like the concession prices at the Masters are unbelievably.
I thought it'd
low.
be just as expensive. No, I figured it'd be like Disney.
Sodas are like 50 cents.
Really?
Like, sandwiches are like less than $2. It's unbelievable.
Holy cow. I had no idea. Well, he needs to go over to the Grand Floridian. They probably have a pimento cheese sandwich that day and hook it up. Anyway, let's get to the questions. Let's, we always have our 5 minutes of sports open line, and there it was. There it's gone. All right, Sean, speaking of the mitten, he's up in the mitten. He has a question for you. I think this is perfect for you, Scott. Hey, BOGP crew, quick question regarding virtual Run Disney events. I'm a huge Chippendale fan, and I see the Marathon 10K medal is Chippendale themed. I can't make it down there in January, but could do the virtual 10K. Will the virtual medal be the same as the one shown on the website for the regular 10K? Thanks a ton, Sean in the mitten. So how do those medals work in the virtual? Because I've never done a virtual.
Yeah, so good news for Sean. It is the exact medal. The only difference would be the lanyard. So when you do the virtual one, so say like I did last year, I did the virtual wine and dine. So like the half marathon was Joe Gardner. So the same like face of the medal was the same, except my lanyard just said virtual wine and dine 2022. So that's the only real difference. But like, and which is cool. Like I like the lanyards. They're kind of cool. Like I know our perfect runners, our friends that are perfect in races. Like they have a special lanyard for theirs too. They'll say like perfect on it. Shout out Mr. Allen out in the West Coast. Mr. Allen. He likes to tease us with all his perfect merchandise.
He does. Like, it's so cool. I just like to go,
I know. It's so awesome to see. But yeah, so that, I mean, if the base of the medal is like the big thing you're concerned about, then it's going to be exactly the same. It's just the lanyard will be different, which I think is kind of cool because then it just, you'll look at it on the rack like, oh yeah, that's the one I did virtually because it says virtual on it. So super cool.
Because my school district wouldn't let me off.
Exactly.
My work wouldn't let me go.
Or it's just like, man, I don't want to spend,
that's right,
tickets in a room, but I really like that. That's what was me with Wine and Dine. Like I loved the Coco medal. I love the movie Coco. So I did the 5K and the half virtual, basically just to get the medal and not spend a couple grand on a vacation.
Hey, practical. That's smart. And also shout out to Rob. He's descending into Orlando right now, tuned in on YouTube. So safe landings and have a good time down at Walt Disney World.
Pretty soon you'll be listening to Mayor Buddy Dyer. I don't know my own town's mayor, but I know Orlando's mayor.
Yeah, I know. And I'd much rather hear him. I don't even know who our mayor. I know I've seen him on TV every once in a while. Yeah, exactly right. Okay, next question is from Tish. Hey, Mike and BOGP crew. I just realized my family and I'll be at Saratoga Springs on May 6th, the Kentucky Derby. Not that we're huge fans of horse racing, but I thought there might be some fun activities at Saratoga since they're all about all things horse. We're planning a day at the resort on the 6th, swimming, snacks, maybe the springs. Do you know of any fun activities or happenings on Derby Day in previous years, especially at Saratoga or the Springs? Thanks in advance, Tish. I thought this was a good one for you too. I mean, it's tangentially gambling and horse race. We've bet on horses at Old Key West and they were like in South Africa or something on your phone. It was crazy.
Yeah, we have done some horse betting at Olivia's actually right down the road from Saratoga there. So I don't know specifically, Trish, if they do anything for the Derby, but I will say Saratoga has a really good like activities group. Where like for like Run Disney weekends, for instance, they're like always doing like fun things, like get you psyched up. So I know like they're managed really well. So they might have a fun little thing for the Derby, but I would say if you're hanging out at the resort, definitely go to the grandstand pool if it's open. Cause you'll hear like like how they start the races. Yep. Like they'll play that like in the grandstand theme. You get a really big horse theme there. And if you like to partake in it, like an adult beverage, maybe get a mint julep or something from the bar there at the Turf Club. That's kind of very themed to the Derby. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to be something specific there. I do miss something they used to do, Mike. Remember, like when the resorts would have, this is before COVID started, the fun runs at the resorts.
And those were really really catching momentum right as COVID hit. Like people were, it was just special, right? I mean, I think it was a very small group of people that even knew about them, but the people that knew about them were like, "This is so cool! This
Oh
is
my God, they're so cool!" I've done like 3 or 4 of them, and Saratoga was one that I did, and it was cool because you got it was a small little medal, and it had like a horseshoe on it or something. It was like very horse themed. It was so cool. Like, oh, I wish they would bring those back.
Yeah, and maybe they are bringing things back slowly, but I like though that these, I don't know even what you call them, the staff at these certain resorts really seem to program their activities. Really, we've mentioned French Quarter. They're one of the more outstanding resorts that, Mardi Gras comes in and they do it right. They give out beads, they have photo ops, and there's a few other resorts that do it more than others. And I'd really like to know the mechanics of that. Like, does each resort get a certain allotment for the year and you get to spend it, kind of a slush fund? This is, this is promotional for just your resort. Spend it how you wish. That's fine. But here's what I would do for Tish. Tish, you got to wear a big hat on May 6th. Everywhere you go, around, even if you're in the pool, boom, fancy big hat all day, selfies with it. And then, at like 4:00, I don't know, the horse race like 4 or 5. If they don't do this, the thing, you need to bring a trumpet. Just
bring your own trumpet. But we'll hear it at the grandstand pool. Exactly. And I would say just go to the Turf Club, like their little lounge area. I bet you they have like a cocktail on special, or they might be doing something special there too.
They have to.
The activity center. I think a lot of people overlook, especially at Old Key West and Saratoga, like you don't have to necessarily be a DVC member to do those offerings. Now, some things might be free for DVC members or discounted. But usually the case is like those are open for all guests of Saratoga. So hop over into the community center, see if they're doing anything special that day.
Those are super cool. They're almost, you don't want to say it too much. Like,
I know I don't, because
they're cool. Yeah,
my family spends so much time, especially at Saratoga, because we normally do a 1-bedroom villa that has a refrigerator. So the first thing we do, we go there. They have these like coloring magnets. We sit there, we color magnets. We check into our room, we put them on display on the refrigerator, so we have our art. Like we spend so much time there in Saratoga. It's so much fun.
I remember one day during COVID, you guys were down at Saratoga. Like you spent the whole day at the activity. Like you're playing, you're winning trivia, you're playing bingo.
So it was from the Turf Club.
I was working that day, and you were just like killing it. Like I was like, "Are you gonna do anything except go to the community center?" Because you were just like, "Wait!" You had all kinds of prizes. You kept texting me. You're like, you had arts and crafts, and
so
we
won. We dominated the trivia, which they were giving away like a Surrey bike rentals. Here's your tie-dye shirt package. Here's your make a Turvis mug thing. Like we did it all. It was awesome.
It was cool. All right, next question. Good question, Tish. Thank you so much, and enjoy the Derby. Our good friend Len, Sparty up out in Maryland, says on our last Disney World trip, we couldn't believe how good the food and experience at California Grill was. We plan on going to Disneyland early in 2024. Is there a similar restaurant in Disneyland that is comparable to California Grill? Would it be Steakhouse 55? Or would it be, is there something over at
Steakhouse 55 is no longer there, though. Napa Rose is what you're thinking.
Napa Rose, okay. But I swear, isn't Steakhouse 55 in the Disneyland Hotel?
Yeah.
Dude, I could have swore I walked right past it, and it was open.
Was it? Okay, because it was
it's
been closed since COVID, but
it was right under where we had one of our events. It was right next to Goofy's Kitchen.
Okay, yeah, it is right next to Goofy's Kitchen. So
dude, the sign was on. There were people in there. Okay, I'm telling you. I think.
Okay,
maybe
we'll have to look. We'll have to do some research on that because
maybe I'm wrong.
That was the first place I went to a Disneyland hotel. So it was the first time I ever packed a suit for a vacation because it was Elizabeth's 30th birthday that night, and I got her like these diamond earrings. So like and I had like a pre-ordered dessert and all this stuff. Like, so it was just a cool night. And I just remember like walking around the Disneyland hotel, like in a suit, and then it felt all fancy and stuff. It was awesome. The Steakhouse 55 is fantastic.
Everybody says it's closed in the live chat.
I think it is closed.
But I'm telling you, I walked right by it and I swore people were in there. But yeah, it could have been just people at Goofy's. There were kids running around and I was running late for an event. So that's
to help Len out though. Napa Rose for sure at the Grand Californian is solid. And I would throw in Carthay Circle too at Disney California Adventure. And they have a great lounge there too. I'm very heavy like on the lounges and like making a drink today on the listener questions. But if you like a adult beverage, the Lounge at Carthay is really great before your meal, and they do an exceptional job there. So
Yeah, here's the thing. Okay, so I was out there solo, right? So I was totally fine just eating counter service. And Disneyland has amazing snack slash counter service options. Like you could go a week and be totally fine just eating at Hungry Bear. And I didn't even get to Hungry Bear, but I mean just going to just all the counter service places. I just went around, and plus with the California Food and Wine Festival over at DCA, I ate there like 3 different meals. I just went over and snacked and had that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was one of those things that I didn't need to sit down, but I did keep checking the app to see if I could get into Blue Bayou, like by happenstance, because sometimes like you just happen to come upon an ADR. I never did. That
especially
was the
for
one
one
place I
person
wanted to get
too.
in. I know. That's what I was thinking. Like if I could just get, I never did. That was the one place I would have. But yeah, that place is so cool. I took a picture as I rode by on Pirates. That's as close as I got. That was my last ride at Disneyland on that trip. And that's probably my last picture was the firehouse in Walt's apartment. But yeah, I took a long shot of Blue Bayou and said, oh, wish I could have a Monte Cristo, but not happening.
I know Friday's episode is going to be very Disneyland focused because you were just there. But to your point though, and I know Len's looking for that California Grill-esque meal, and it's harder to find those at Disneyland, I feel like, because like the counter service is really great, and it's just there's less signature dining. But even at the non like signature places, like I love like Carnation Cafe, like where we had a
that's another place I did try to get that one too, because that was so perfect. Like you had the rows on the table, you're eating outside, you're on Main Street, USA. Oh yeah, that was the other one I was looking for.
So there's a lot of good table service that's out there, but it's not necessarily at that California Grill level. So I think the 2 that we gave you will be what you're looking for. Most likely Napa Rose, because it has like the resort feel like that you would have at California Grill.
All right. And I saw that it came out in April 1st. But I think it is true in downtown Disney, that Catal, that restaurant that's right in the dead center of downtown Disney's closing. They're going to replace it with something.
Really?
Yeah.
And maybe it was an April Fool's joke. I don't know. Because it could be true because I don't think anyone like goes there very often. I don't know many people that have visited there. Like I know I haven't been there, but who knows?
I mean, the article looked legit. Now again, I hate.
No one should ever share information on it.
That's the whole thing. Like it looked legit. So I don't know if it's true. Because Mallory comes home and she's like, can you believe the Battlehawks are moving to LA, which is our XFL team, which is like everybody in St. Louis is kind of crazy for because we just want to support them to stick it to the NFL.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm like, Mallory, it's April 1st. They're not moving to LA. And then I'm probably getting got by this Catal thing, but it's that restaurant that's unique. It has that seating right in the dead center, which is like really like I'm intrigued. I've never eaten there, but I'm intrigued by it. But it said it was going to be replaced by a Mexican restaurant. So
okay.
I was like,
side note though, Mallory is like the easiest to get. Like the years I've known her, and she should know better. Like with you as her father, like she should not like believe anything.
I told her I was like, you can't believe anything till tomorrow. Knock it off. And so okay. Next question's from Ryan. Now this one's important because he needs us right here. This came in 20 hours ago. Hey everyone, my family, 3 adults, has booked a Walt Disney World trip for next week. We're going to stay at Pop Century from April 11th to the 14th and need some planning tips. This is our first time going back to Disney since COVID, and we're quickly planning. We have 2 park hopper tickets for the 12th and the 13th. Our goal is to hit all 4 parks, our favorites being Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom. Any ideas on the best order to visit the parks? As of right now, we're thinking Animal Kingdom for the morning of the 12th and then headed over to Epcot. Then on the 13th, going from the Magic Kingdom to the studios and back to the Magic Kingdom for fireworks. Is it a bad idea to have so little time in the studios? The only 2 things we truly want to see in the studios are the new additions from 2019 to 23. Thanks for the help, Ryan. So they're going to be busy, and this is totally doable. I imagine he's got his theme park reservations. That's the first thing you got to have in place. You can hop after, I almost said 11, West Coast, 2. But so the only thing, would you go to Animal Kingdom first? I guess you could if you really want to knock out a lot of stuff, and that's his favorite park.
Yeah, I mean, I like to go to Animal Kingdom first because they open first. So if you want to maximize your amount of time, if you're going to go hard all day, Animal Kingdom is a good option to go first because they open the earliest. One question I wish he was here to ask is like, how important is Guardians of the Galaxy? Because if you want to do that, you got to do the virtual queue, which you have to have the park reservation for early to do. But you might be able to buy an individual lightning lane for that and then hop over. So that could be an option too. But I almost feel like you want to book Epcot as one of your reservations to get. But I would avoid doing Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom on the same day though, because they said that's their favorite. So I wouldn't want to like double up on your favorites in one day, like have Animal Kingdom one day because that's one of your favorites, and the other day do Magic Kingdom. I would like to end Magic Kingdom though as the park you hop to because I love Magic Kingdom at night.
We have thoughts here from the chat. Allison says, use individual lightning lanes, which again, when you have a short trip like this, especially last minute, you're just trying to get as much in as you can in, 72 hours or 96 hours, whatever you have, you've already invested a lot of money, just get those experiences. Like Scott said, you want to do Rise the Resistance, just buck up. Yeah. Everybody pay for it. Cosmic Rewind. Dude, I got to admit something. I can't believe this. You want to hear it? I never thought I'd do it.
You're about to play the sad trombone, I feel like.
Dude, I am. Dude, I bought an individual lightning lane. It hurt. I bought one.
For Radiator Springs?
Yes. That line was so long.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I am so against buying one of those things, but I was like, I love this ride.
And how often are you at Disneyland? See, this is
that's what I said.
This is the kind of answer
it's like,
you
it's
give
either
to
this
a
or
guest.
I'm not doing it. Yeah, it's either this or I'm going to miss. And seriously, when I walked off, it was $18. And when I walked off, like, because it was I think it was like 120-minute wait, and there's single rider there, so I could have took the chance with that, and I probably wouldn't have waited that long. But I mean, I got on in 10 minutes. It did go fast. I know Lightning Lane doesn't always go that fast, but it did. Like I got really quick up onto the ride, and so when I walked off, I guessed I saved about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And in that 90 minutes, I'd already had all my food at the Food and Wine Festival and was already back over at Disneyland. So, I mean, was $18 worth that? Probably. But it still killed me to make that buy. Oh. Yeah.
I mean, I did that last summer with the girls. Like, we bought 3 of them. So we spent $55 to ride it. But you know what? That was still worth it because it's so good.
It is so good. It is so good. The whole time I was riding that, I was like, this ride is the best. It's so fun because you got to look over and what's up?
Yeah,
you're about to go down.
I love the music and how it starts like doom doom doom.
Yeah, when you go through radios,
the waterfall. Oh man,
oh, I know.
I wish I was there right now.
Oh man, yes.
But I know. So we didn't really answer his question. I mean, there's so many different combinations you can do, and there's good. Len even talked about doing the studios and Epcot on the same day because it's easy transportation between the two. I like that idea as well.
I agree.
I would just with that combination. I would do Epcot last.
But we didn't talk about Genie Plus. I would have Genie Plus stack them, like Allison's also saying in the live chat. Stack them for stack those HWS. I don't know what HWS stands for. World Showcase,
Hollywood Studios, maybe
Hollywood Studios. Yep, that's probably what it is. Let's go DHS on that, Allison, so you don't confuse me in future posts because I can't take any more acronyms that I can't figure out. No, that's a good idea because that's what I was doing too at Disneyland. I was stacking Genie Plus and it was rocking. Because the thing is, this was true of Disneyland. I think it's true of Walt Disney World. They've updated the app now, so at the very top, it tells you when what time you can make your next lightning lane, even if you have one booked. It'll say your next lightning, like it'll say now, or it'll say like 11, 12. And you can book it, which is really nice. Okay.
Speaking of like updates, kind of off topic here, but I was looking at a menu the other day. This is after the 50th celebration ended, and it just threw me off going to the website, Mike, because I'm sure you felt the same way as a travel agent. You're always on there, like not seeing the iridescent like colors anymore. I was like, am I on the wrong website? But
I know it's like Kansas City Royals blue, like on the bottom.
I kind of like it though. Like
I do too.
I mean, I like the iridescent when it came out, but like 18 months, like I need something kind of fresh. So it was nice to see something different.
Did you see that the castle has the 50th thing gone?
I saw that. That actually kind of made me sad. I liked that, but
I do like it. Yeah, but I mean,
it was for the 50th, and the 50th is
I agree.
Well gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, it's great to have a celebration, but it's not very special if it stays around for 3 years. Like, it's got to be here, and it's got to, they have to be finite. Which move on to the. Oh, by the way, that's Ricky's not here. She'll be here for Friday's show. Did you happen to see that sizzle reel that Disney put out today? You were working, but it's my job. But did you see that real quick sizzle reel that Disney put out today for the? They had the shareholders call.
No, I missed it.
Disney 100. Dude, it's one of those things. Just 1 minute thing showing the Disney 100 promo.
Okay. Is it gonna make me cry?
Oh, 100%. That's what I'm gonna say, dude. It is.
I will not watch it live on this show. I will wait.
Yeah, no,
My
don't.
privacy
I'm
in
saying
my
I was on the treadmill walking. I'm like, because it starts off with Buzz and Woody, just like, looking off like buds,
Yeah.
and then it goes through the parks, and it has like, children with like special needs that are meeting characters. This deaf girl that's meeting Tinkerbell, and Tinkerbell signs out Tink, and this
Oh
kid
man.
meets Cinderella, and they dance around, and this little girl walks by a stormtrooper and just goes. I mean, dude, it's why I do this podcast, right? It's why you're here, right? It's why we have this show together. You, me, Ricky, and Pam. We get to take these questions. Why you guys listen, right? It's these moments, and they captured these moments. I mean, they have a lot of the animation, the movies and stuff, and the Mandalorian and all
They
the
probably
live
had
action.
They probably had a killer like score, like soundtrack.
Oh
in the
yeah,
background,
totally.
too.
The very last word is like always. Okay, because it said something like you got to watch it, you got to grab it. But the whole thing was like I forget how it ended, but it ended with like an image of Mickey shaking hands with Walt. It starts off with Walt talking to all that come to this happy place. Welcome. So immediately, dude, I'm just like, oh, and it shows Disneyland, the train coming by. I'm like, oh, it's just there. Oh, I love that place. This is where I want to live. But the very end's like kind of like the partner statue of like Mickey shaking hands with Walt. But then it says something like, but the last word is always. But what it is, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi saying the Force will be with you. But it's him saying always. I'm like, oh my God, that's so good. It was, oh, dude, they nailed it. I'm just saying, as a Disney fan, I watch it again. Watch it. It had like 1 million views. It was just put out because I watched it like 500,000. So there you go. Anyway,
I'm none of those. So thanks for like taking my share for me.
I just narrated the whole thing. Spoiler. You've seen it. Okay, next question. This one's timely. Run Disney Springtime Surprise, first timer. Hello, Mike and crew. First off, I want to say that I've been a listener since I found you in 2016. At that time, my wife and I were planning our first Disney trip to Walt Disney World with our 6-year-old twin boys. Your podcast is always so entertaining and informative that I've been a regular listener ever since. Listening to you talk about Run Disney events has inspired me to give it a try. Don't you love hearing that, Scott? I mean, because everybody that gets out there, they're going to have their story. And you know what? Robert here, he's inspiring somebody else. It just keeps going. It's awesome. Okay, he says, coming up quick is my first ever Run Disney race, the Toy Story 10 miler. I'm staying at Port Orleans Riverside, April 13th to the 18th, and I have a 2-day park hopper, April 16th and 17th for my picks with my sweet, sweet meal. Wait, okay, let's continue.
I think it means metal.
Metal. Yeah, it does say meal though. I was like, okay, dude. I mean, I get it. Like me and you, we totally get that. I would take a sweet picture with a sweet meal after a race.
The D is missing there.
Okay, I mean,
I do combos of I take photos of me with my meal and metal.
That's right. You and the beignets have you have an affinity.
And he's at Riverside, so he better like continue on with my tradition there.
Yeah, probably metal.
If he follows me on Instagram, he'll know.
He'll know. For my research, I know I'll be at the back in one of the last corrals and one of the last groups to start. My question is this: after the race, I plan on going to Animal Kingdom. I think it's the most chill park that I don't need to rush to. And then later I'm park hopping over to Hollywood Studios. What are the best case and worst case estimates on what time I might arrive to Animal Kingdom that day? During training, my pace is about 11 minutes a mile. By the time I cross the finish line, collect my medal, get on the bus to the resort, take a quick shower, and then hop on the bus to Animal Kingdom, is arriving between 9:30 and 10 at the park a pipe dream. Thanks. Robert is out in Kansas City, Mo. Speaking of the Royals, they're having a rough start, but let's hope they can turn around because I do like Kaufman. Let's say, okay, so I'm trying to think. Okay, so the race, I guess the race is start at 5 at the 10 miler. I haven't looked. But usually 5 or 5:30. I think it's 5.
I think it's 5. I'm not running that race, but I want to say, or 5:30 maybe. I don't know.
Man, it's a 10 miler, so it might be 5:30 because it's not a half. So let's say 5:30 just to be, so we're conservative on that. Okay, so he runs an 11-minute mile. So he's done. What?
I would just say 2 hours because he's going to start a little later too.
He is going to start later, yeah.
Because being in the back of the corrals.
So let's say he crosses the line at 8. I mean, that's super light.
So I was taking notes as you were writing that, and I had 8:00 as my finishing time.
That's what I would say too. Yeah. Okay, so he crosses the line at 8. walks through the nutrition box, the medals, the get your picture with the paddle and your medal kind of situation. Now, here's the problem though. Starting towards the back, the lines for the buses get long at that point. So I'd say you'll probably wait 30 minutes for a bus, wouldn't you say?
Possibly. But the good news for him, he's going to have the shortest bus ride. This
That's
is why I
true.
love staying at Old Key West and
That is true.
Riverside for these race weekends, because where the buses are parked, you pull out, you do a left, and boom, you're at your resort. It's like the quickest ride ever. So I would say, finishing at, I say he's back at the room by like 9 o'clock to start showering.
So I would say, then you're back at, I would say the same thing. You're back at Riverside by 9. By the time you take a shower, get on a bus, I'd say it's probably an hour to shower, hop your bus, and be at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
So you're probably
depends on if you want to get something to eat. You might be a little hungry after that, So I know me and Mike, we tend to go to the food court and
I do
get a mobile order going.
Here's the deal though. I mean, this is a pro tip. You mobile order on the bus on the way back after the race. Like, so when you're sitting on that motor coach, because you're not on a regular Disney bus, you're on a motor coach. Like, put your mobile order in, and then if you want, you can either grab it, like take it back to your room, just go through the food court. So probably you can get off at the front of the resort where the food court is, or you could just mobile order it like as you're getting in the shower, and then once you get done with your shower, just walk down and hit I'm here and grab your food. But I would definitely mobile order to save time.
Take the internal bus and or get off at French Quarter and get the beignets like I would, and then go back to your room over at Riverside. But that's going to take a little while though. But I'd say like the worst case scenario, like depending on how long you want to like relax, because sometimes me, Mike, like I know you're the same way. Like I just want to like chill for a little bit after a race too.
I do too.
Like you're weird. You turn the heat up in your room. Like I don't do. I know. I don't do that. But I like to relax, maybe watch a little TV, like make a couple social media posts or whatever. Like I kind of take my time. But if you're in a hurry to get to Animal Kingdom, then don't do what we do. But I'd say worst case scenario, you're there at
10
11
o'clock. Or 11 for sure.
Depending on I'd say 10 o'clock is probably where you're going to be.
He's definitely he's there between 10 and 11. Yeah, I would say for sure. Yeah.
But if you're gonna take your time, it's gonna be 11. But 11, if you're hustling, taking your shower, getting changed and all that, then you should be there by 10.
Yeah, and enjoy your first Run Disney event, because they are really cool, but they're really cool the first time. Because when you've done 40, 50 of them, you kind of, just it's a fact of life. You know what to expect. They're still special, but Riley and Pelkey and Chris, they have the same jokes. They're still funny, but when you're a first time, they're hilarious. They're a little funnier. Yeah, exactly. They're not so much. All right, we have a question here in the live chat from Facebook from BF Fielder. It says Whispering Canyon, family of 4 with 2 kids. They're 13 and 10. Can get a reservation for tonight. Do we do it? Is it worth it? I think Whispering Canyon for kids 13 and 10 is perfect.
I agree. Yeah, get it.
Yeah, go for it. Get skillet, right? Or what do you get there?
Yeah, because you can order like off the skillet. You can do like non-skillet items, but I've always done the skillet though, and then I always like to ask for lots of ketchup.
Yep, make sure you get ketchup and a refill for your soda too. Bladder buster.
Do they still have like outrageous shakes there? Because couldn't you like get like unlimited like shakes like you get like a chocolate shake and just get like refills on that, which is kind of outrageous, but why not?
My stomach's been hurting today, and you just made it hurt worse thinking about that thing. Oh, and Deanna here in the live chat, she says 13 and 10-year-olds can eat. Go for it. You are 100. That is, hang on. Yes. Well said. They can, it's fun. And it's chill. Like it's one of those restaurants that's fun, but it's not stressful. Like you just walk in and have a good time, and the food is just, I think everybody likes the food there. Maybe it's just me because it's my jam. It's not super fancy. It's just good food. I think kids like that. Okay. Next question is from Kate. Good evening, Mike, Pam, Ricky, Scott, and Riley. I'll have to tell Riley, because unlike Ricky, I don't have a dog in my lap when I podcast. My dog is on the other side of the door, but I'll let her know you said, hey, Kate. My family and I, my husband, myself, and our 7-year-old Benjamin are coming for a 2-week break in August from the United Kingdom. And due to having the best travel agent who managed to get us a cheaper rate on our hotel for the last 5 nights. Thanks, Mike. You're amazing. Thank you. Given that we have budgeted for the full price, we're considering using some of the money we have saved for a splurge. Okay, let me just say, Kate's the typical Disney fan, not taking the savings and putting it in her pocket. Nope. Reallocating it. Disney gets it anyway. You're just going to spend it another way. That's exactly what I do, right? I save some money. I'm getting a few more t-shirts. I mean, I went out for a media event, but I spent as much as I would on a trip because I came home with a new wardrobe. Pam's like, how many shirts did you buy? I was like, next question.
She's gonna be like, I didn't realize this was a Run Disney event. That
exactly. I'm like, but they didn't give them to us because it's not a race. She knows. Okay, Kate continues. We have 14-day park hopper tickets with Memory Maker already included and already promised the little one both a droid and lightsaber building. What other splurges would you suggest? Thanks, Kate and Benjamin. Now, before everybody starts emailing me, UK guests can get longer tickets. Yeah. So if you're in the US, you cannot get something longer than 10 day. So don't come at me. Don't at me, bro. You can't. But Kate can because she's over in the UK, and that's awesome. Okay, so the two things that I would want to do: get a droid, get a lightsaber. I'm still wanting to do both. But what'd be a splurge for you?
Yeah, it's a bummer she has the 14-day ticket because I was gonna say splurge on an after hours event because those are some of my favorite things to do. Because they're just a different atmosphere, right? Like you have like the unlimited like candy, like the ice creams and things like that. But if they're already doing a 14-day ticket, the last thing they probably want to splurge on is more part-time because they're already getting a lot of part-time.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. So you know what my answer is going to be, Mike, and that's an expensive meal. Like I just love like a California grill or Narcoossee's that just recently opened this week. Like do one of those kind of meals, where you have like a firework viewing. So you kind of make it like a dinner and a show thing. Maybe that's something that you normally wouldn't splurge for on a normal vacation, but I think it's totally worth the cost and something that you'll always remember. It'll be a memorable moment of the trip when you had a meal and fireworks at a really nice place.
So Sean says Keys to the Kingdom, but you can't do that with a 7-year-old because you got to be 14 to do that one. That's good thought though. But here's what I would say. And this is just totally, this is stereotypical, but this is what I'm thinking. You're from the UK, go over to Fort Wilderness and do one of those wagon rides. Because that would be like, I mean, I don't know, like people in the UK, do they think of America as like, cowboys and stuff? I mean, like if I went to the UK, I'd want to ride in one of those little, cars, beep, 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 like I want to wear like a big tall hat. I'd want to have like what I see on TV. So I would do, and those aren't even expensive. They're pretty cheap, but maybe, just go over and explore. Or hoop-de-doo. I think that'd be fun because you got a 7-year-old. The 7-year-old probably enjoy hoop-de. You like hoop-de-doo, probably enjoy that more than like a super fancy like Narcoossee's. I mean, the parents would enjoy it. Kate would.
Yeah, I mean, it's complete opposite. So when you come, you think about a signature place to the fried chicken of hoop-de-doo.
Yeah, like if I was 7, though, I'd want the chicken and the dancing. I don't know.
I know.
That's the difference between you and I. We're a lot alike, but that's
Sean was kind of thinking on something I was too, where you could like do one of those pontoon like fireworks shows or even like a dessert party show. Those are kind of fun because I love watching, Happily Ever After from the theme parks on Main Street, but I like different perspectives of it, which is why I kind of gave the Narcoossee's or California Grill. But watching from the water is super cool too, and a fun thing to do.
No, I 100% agree with that. That's a good perspective. And Allison also says the Caring for Giants tour. This is a great idea. Actually, the Caring for Giants, which is, I believe, the elephants over at Animal Kingdom, 7-year-olds can do that. So you could do that as a family. I mean, that's something that'd be super special. I think that's the winning answer right there. That'd be super cool. Caring for Giants. And then Wade, 14 days. I just want to get a stinking AP. I hear you. All right. And we have our last question of the day. It's from Ella down in Arkansas. A good friend, Ella. She says, I'm excited about the return of Happily Ever After. What about you guys? Or y'all, because she's in Arkansas. I'm currently thinking of the time Mike fell for a fake post about the return of Happily Ever After on October 2nd, 2021. Well,
we were in the Odyssey. I remember exactly where we were.
Well, I appreciate you calling me out, Ella, because I was just talking about how I'm probably getting scammed about this Catal restaurant going away at downtown Disneyland, and now you're reinforcing the fact that I'm gullible like my daughter. So, Scott, so here's the thing. I know you're a Harmonious fan, or were, because at this point it is here and gone. But
how do you feel one out for my friend last night? Yeah.
Yeah, you poured one out. So, but I mean, how do you respond to Ella's question about Happily Ever After coming back, Enchantment going away?
I'm very excited for that. So I'm also a Wishes guy, and I was really like heartbroken. Oh my God, it just killed me when, Wishes was going away and Happily Ever After was. I actually like spoiled myself, which is something I try to rarely do when Happily Ever After first released. I watched like the live stream on the Parks blog. I can actually recall we were in our old house. We had it up on the TV, and I was like, "Oh, why would they do that? And like, why would they do Wishes like that?" I was like a hostile, like which I shouldn't be. It's just a fireworks show, Scott. Like, come on. Like, I've grown up a little bit since then, but yeah, that show like grew on me over time. Like I have new memories now. Like there's new people, new friends that we've met that we've seen that show with, like we always like tie like these things to certain memories or a point in time. And I had that with Wishes with Emily being young, and then Happily Ever After just was like a new era of my life. And I just grew to love that. So seeing it come back makes me really excited. I love that soundtrack. There're going to be some new things too, right? Because it's going to do stuff on Main Street, kind of like
Enchantment did.
Enchantment and Disneyland Forever did out at Disneyland. So I'm excited to see what kind of new enhancements there are. It's a great soundtrack, and I think it's just a win for all Disney fans. We know, like, when the cast members got to see like that preview like a couple weeks ago, like the excitement, they're all like hooting and hollering. Like I think Happily Ever After has a really strong following, and I think this is going to be a big win for fans.
Yeah, I agree. And we have this discussion. If you didn't get to tune in to the Sunday Night Live call-in show that we did, I was this past Sunday night, it's going to hit the feed tomorrow. In the first like 15 minutes, we kind of have this discussion about the ending of the 50th anniversary celebration, Harmonious going away, Happily Ever After coming back, Enchantment going away. And we have some theories. So we kind of talk about this topic. But what it is for me, again, I'm with you. Like Wishes was my jam at the Magic Kingdom, because that was kind of what was showing with Spectral Magic when we first really fell in love with the Disney parks, like when we first started going as a family. But Happily Ever After has that for me because that was my second go around. That was Mallory's like show, right? That was when she was little. And so that was because Wishes was gone by that point. So she would sing that in the shower every night. Like every night she would get in the shower, take her bath, and it would be always Happily Ever After playing on the Echo. And so that kept the trips alive for me, even when we were at home and, in these long stretches between vacations. So to have that back, and now that, it's going to be fun because she's not my little girl anymore. I think is what Disney does so well, right? Is that I still see her as the 6-year-old girl that I used to hang out with and, ride Big Thunder with. And she was so scared and I had to hold her hand. Now I'm teaching her to drive. You're doing the same thing. Emily's driving around Lansing. And it'll be cool to stand next to her this summer. And, she's still my little girl, but she's, a young woman at this point, but we'll still have those memories. And it'll be the same when that Happily Ever After song hits. It'll be a little nostalgia for both of us, I think, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I would like to see like a permanent replacement come though. I think like they're still trying to figure out what should we do. Like Enchantment obviously did not work. And I know people love it. Like we had a guest on Sunday, right? That like, oh my God, like Enchantment was like my son's first show. Like, and I get that because that's what you and I were saying. Like we have that with Wishes and other shows too. So I'm sorry that Enchantment went away for that family because they had a connection there. But I don't think Happily Ever After is going to be it like forever. Like I hope to see like a newer show that has more permanency. But I am excited to see it come back because it is an awesome show. It really is good.
It is. I wonder though, like that's a good question. Like, are they looking at Happily Ever After as the show? I mean, because it's getting such positive, feedback immediately that it's coming back. But I mean, will it have that staying power? Will it have that a year from now? Will people be as excited?
I don't know. We shall see.
We will see. All right. Well, hey, we'll be back again on Friday with some thoughts on Disneyland and the Disney 100 celebrations going on out at the Disneyland Resort, both Disney's California Adventure and the Disneyland Park, and the resorts and the restaurants and all the good stuff. I'll talk about rowing a canoe with a bunch of Dodgers fans. That was fun, especially when I had all my Cardinal gear on opening day. But we're going to have a good time talking about my quick trip report. Scott's been there many times. So we're going to have a great time talking Disneyland and Disney 100 on Friday's show. Remember, if you have any questions for next Wednesday's podcast, you can email those to me at mike@beourguestpodcast.com. Just put listener question in the header. We'll get those right in the right place. You can also join us around 5:45 Eastern on Facebook and YouTube and ask your question right away and just kind of hang out for the fun. We have a good time with our live chatters on Facebook and YouTube. Our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out for all your Disney trip planning needs. You can check out all the details over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a huge thank you to the patrons of the show. You guys make all these podcasts possible. And our patrons get that bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you. Coming over this week, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give Scott a follow on social media at Epscott, EPSCOT on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. Would love to talk to you this week as well. And join us this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, the BOGP open line where you can be a part of the show. Call in. Let's talk. Let's talk some Disney. What's on your mind? All right. We'll be back again on Friday. Of course, tomorrow you get the replay of the call-in show, so enjoy that. But Friday, headed to Disneyland. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Enjoy the day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
Riley must have known that a listener brought her up.
I know what it is. Pam probably just got home upstairs.
Yeah,
of course.
You might be Oliver. You might hear Oliver doing the same thing. Liz isn't feeling that good today, so I think they're gonna just like get some takeout.
Yeah, she's going around.
Hers is more like a migraine kind of thing today. So it's this weather. Like I hope the rain isn't picking up, but it is like so rainy, like on this window right here.
No, I don't hear it at all. Yeah, I had a migraine.
You remember this photo from the Spring Surprise last year, where like I was like laying on the ground?
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot about that. That's hilarious.
But that woman was like standing right there, so I put like the caption like tired to block
the
blocker.
That, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, that's funny.
Hello, Lisa. And have a good night, Sean, up in the mitten. Oh, got text Ricky. I was hoping you couldn't hear Riley, but of course you could because she's barking. I had the door closed too. Let's see if Ricky's home. Nope, she's not home. She's driving.
Yeah, Sean, the weather has not been pleasant since April.
I say we just start and then Ricky comes in quietly because I'm just going to be talking about my trip anyway.
I mean, yeah, that's your call.
Yep, that's what we're going to do because man, my stomach hurts. Man, that's so radiant. Quietly.
The Magic Kingdom. Like, I wonder how crazy it's going to be for Happily Ever After tonight.
It'll be nuts. Everybody will be wanting to get their Instagram stuff. All right. Let's see. Any tips from the pros other than Genie Plus? Genie Plus is awesome. Hang on, let's see.
Other than Genie Plus, I'd say like kind of like what you do at Walt Disney World, like just getting there early gets you ahead of the game, you know, just rope drop.
That is the truth because
I know you're from Tennessee, so like the time change kind of helps you. I don't know where in the work trip you're doing that, but you might be up earlier, you know, because you're used to being up earlier than they would out west. So just rope dropping like is crucial.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like even with Genie Plus, like I didn't even need to use it until like 11 because like it would say like Lightning Lane, you know, like 11:45, Lightning Lane 11:50, or sorry 8:45. It'd be like 8:50.
Yeah, not as many people use Genie Plus out there, so it's so much better than it is at Walt Disney
crazy.
World.
Yeah, you didn't even have to use it that much. I mean, I used it, especially once I got to like lunchtime.
Yeah.
But early in the day.
I mean, Memorial Day weekend, I mean, it might be a little busier, but like I was telling me and Mike were talking about this on Friday when he was down there because he was like, oh my God, like it's night and day. Like how many more people are here now at night? Like the locals will be there, but they're not necessarily there to do attractions. You know, they're just there to like hang out. So it might feel crowded a lot of times, but the lines might not be as bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because they were all doing food.
I mean, you're going to see like Radiator Springs is always going to be busy. I mean, there's like certain attractions that will always have long lines, but not as bad as you might think, though. So we're going to wait for Ricky. She said 2 minutes.
Or did she say 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Put on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, now I'm going to Disneyland, though. In January. Was not expecting that.
That'd be awesome.
But like that tweet, though, when you think about it, let me know that Run Disney opened up for Disneyland is going to cost me thousands of dollars, Mike.
I know.
If I would have just ignored it, like it would have been fine. But like
hotel, registration,
tickets, and food. I mean, that's multiple thousands of dollars.
Yep. Dude, if you just wouldn't have your phone open.
If I wouldn't have just read a tweet. I was thinking about that the other night. Because it's going to like have an effect where like I'm going to have to do a Walt Disney Run Disney race now too, like probably marathon weekend. So now that's going to be more airfare, another stay.
So so I've never done coast to coast. So do you have to sign up for coast to coast?
No, they know. Well, previously how it was, they just knew, you know, like, so when you would go to the expo and pick up your bib, they already had you marked down. So what they would give you like a wristlet kind of thing that you could, which kind of stinks because you had to keep it on all weekend because it's like your proof that you're doing coast to coast.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
Well, I mean, you didn't have to sign up. You didn't have to sign up for anything extra. But what I'm hoping they do is bring like, hopefully I can get some coast to coast merchandise because like that was something I always missed out on. Like I did 2 coast to coast, but like I could never get a shirt or a jacket or anything. It's probably going to be even harder now though because everyone's going to want that. But
that's true. And plus now we're like the second race has already had registration, so you probably can't sign up for like the stuff ahead of time. Yeah, like the pre-purchase stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad that you get the coast to coast. Wait, I know, man.
I know, dude. He's like, yeah, you suckers,
dude. I was thinking about it like on a run the other day. Like, yeah, that's gonna the chain reaction of like money that one tweet cost me.
I'm telling you.
But I do like getting the coast to coast in Disneyland though, because like if you did like the Disneyland race and then go do Princess, then you get your coast to coast. At the second race that you do, there's something about getting it at Disneyland. I think that makes it better.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, we'll be getting it like fast, like marathon weekend, and then Disney. Like you'll have it in January.
If I do it in marathon, I don't know. I still don't know, but maybe.
That's what I got. I already signed up, so I'm committed.
I can't believe that got in that tweet, but
I can't believe you got the challenge. I don't even have the challenge. I mean, I really don't care about the medals as much. Like I'm fine.
I do. I love the Dumbo. I love the Dumbo double. I'm just excited to do the 10K. It's my favorite course.
I'm excited for it because I just want to do all the courses and see all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah, but I didn't do the 5K. I was like, no, because like the 5K could be, because I might make it like a really short trip. Like I'm talking like work on Thursday even and fly out like that night or afternoon and just do Friday, Saturday, Sunday and come back Monday.
Yeah, I'll probably have to do that
because it'll save me on like hotel, like an extra day on hotel, a day of PTO, you know. So
I haven't even started looking at that yet.
I can't even think about it. I got so many other trips like I've got to figure out.
You do.
Like, I mean, we're going to Washington, D.C. like in a few weeks, and I still haven't like really fully figured that one out yet.
Killing it. Yeah. Oh, is Ricky home?
She said she was going to be upstairs in 2 minutes.
You know how that goes.
Mm-hmm. That was 4 minutes ago.
She's home.
I guess we didn't respond.
Once I got going, my stomach started feeling better. But now that I stopped, it's not hurt. It's hurting again. I guess I had the adrenaline like crush.
So there's I like to play poker and stuff. So for Michigan, there's like it's been this for Poker Stars. It's been this like series of tournaments. Like high guarantees, which means like it's gonna guarantee to hit this prize pool, even if like we don't even get that many people registered. So the main event started yesterday. It's a $300 buy-in. I didn't do it because like I didn't want to like burn away $300 and like get out like super quick. But they're to day 2 now. That's how long this tournament is. So they like stopped at midnight basically, and they just resumed it at 6 here. But the money on top is $50,000 if you win that thing. Like
those are probably all like super great players though.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, a lot of them are like regular pros kind of thing. Yeah, but like then I'm like, dang, I wish I would have just fired one bullet. Maybe just give me one shot at it. But then like if I would have lost, that's my Dumbo registration basically.
Well, like if you make it to like day 2, are you like guaranteed to get your money back?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So like, so if you made like the top like 90 something, you would double your money. Like I think the min cash was like $600.
Yeah, you probably could have made that.
But yeah, like second place, I think it's still like 30,000. I mean, there's some good.
Crazy.
I know.
I was actually gonna do $5 in one of the slot machines in Vegas, but I was like super tight on my connection. I had to go to a different terminal.
Yeah.
I was like hustling.
I like playing. God. So I will play these. I'll play like the $20 and $30 ones, sometimes at 50.
Okay.
But
hi guys.
And I've cashed. Like I still haven't hit a 4-figure score. That I won like 980 like on a tournament once. I want to get.
That is crazy.
I want to get a comma. I want a comma. I know.
That is nuts.
Maybe I should go play a tournament and that'll cover my Disneyland cost.
Yeah, or it's going to cost you more.
Or it's going to cost.
So what's up,
more,
Ricky?
Yeah. So that's why. That's why I stay away.
I just decided to go see my coworkers today, so that was fun. So
nice.
Dang, you're back already?
Oh God, no.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say that's outrageous.
No.
You just did a little visit, a little meet and greet.
Yeah, I just went and said hello. So.
And your internet's breaking up.
I think it's coming back. Hold on. It's just a little. Hold on 1 second. I think it's this. Is it better? Yeah.
What up, Alfred?
I think it's better. There we go. I think is it back now? I think it's better.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to talk about my Disneyland.
Hold on. I was going to quick answer this DCL question.
So go ahead.
About the alcohol. Is it a 6-pack of beer per each adult in the cabin or a 6-pack per pack? I believe each adult. Like, I hate saying that I believe because that doesn't give you like 100% certainty. But I want to say.
Just look it up on the website because I'm not sure. I've never packed it. But yeah,
I think it is per
adult,
adult,
per person. But it's on the website under the FAQs. Yeah. There's like an alcohol like FAQ policy.
Yeah, like it's like a 6-pack of beer or like a bottle of wine is like the other like equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Bring on your Bud Light.
Yes, of course.
You're from St. Louis. Okay, so let's get this thing going.
Okay.
Let me get my pictures.
So this is basically you're going to talk about Disneyland 100 and kind of recap your trip.
Yep. Let's talk about basically the fireworks, the parade, the California Food and Wine Festival. Those are the 3 things I want us to talk about.
Not Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and the Toontown? Oh, okay. I figured it was for Toontown mostly.
It was mostly for Food and Wine, actually, I think.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. Huh. They didn't give us much on Toontown. I mean, Mickey and Minnie's is exactly the same.
Right, yeah, but they built a whole new Toontown for that area, so that's why I was curious.
Yeah, that was your first time seeing Toontown because it was under construction.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I like Toontown. You run through that in the 10K, Mike.
Do you really?
Nice. Oh yeah, there's a cool like you come out of there, it's like super cool, and then like small worlds too, right? I love the Disneyland. I love the Disneyland 10K.
Yes. All right, let's do this.
Okay.
2266. Why does it keep changing? 41 mono 32 float. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2266 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Happy Good Friday to you, and have a very happy Easter weekend here around the world. Hope it's a great one. You get to spend some time with your friends and family and enjoy the maybe get some ham on Sunday after church and enjoy the holiday. And we're going to get it started here by talking some Disney. And we're going to go out to the West Coast and recap some of the stuff that I got to learn last week out at the awesome Disneyland Resort. So today, to have that conversation, two folks who are also huge Disneyland fans. We have Ricky from the mouseforless.com. What's up, Ricky? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And yeah, this is Lucy's first Easter. So, I going back and forth of should I buy her a little basket or not?
Yes.
I'm thinking I should, but I think I'll buy her like a little Easter bunny. So we've got that. So yeah, it'll be at least the Easter bunny won't be laying eggs this year, but we're looking forward to that in the future. So
Lucy still needs to hunt eggs this year. Just make them easy. I mean,
just make them easy.
Very young.
Point egg colors.
6 inches away. Just
okay, all right. Just so she can grasp the idea of hunting eggs. Okay.
Exactly. I mean, it's fun. You got to. I have to say, you'll take all the pictures with the eggs and the.
Oh yeah, I have some cute Easter outfits already. I mean, people have already, family members and stuff have already sent me, fun little Easter, ruffly skirts and ears and all that kind of stuff. So she's ready to go.
Yeah, but that age you'll have 5 outfits for one day.
Correct. I mean, that's because she'll spit up in all of them. So
that's true. I forgot about that. God bless. I'm glad we don't have that anymore. Not pretty. All right. Yeah. Also joining us, my brother from another mother up in Michigan, your friend of mine, #ScottEG. What's up, Scott? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. So this Friday is always an interesting one for me because it's Good Friday. And in my line of work, we're tied to the stock market, and the stock market is closed on this Friday. So that means no work for me and Elizabeth, but Emily has school. So we all, as you guys know, like the three of us do everything together basically. So it's one of those weird days where we wake up, we take Emily to school, and we're like, it's like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Like, what do we do?
What do we do?
And like, I even like joked about maybe we should go to Chicago and then like for the day or something. But,
and look at art museums and, try to be Abe Froman. I think that's fair. Yeah.
So it's always kind of fun. The weather usually though is kind of iffy, and it's going to be kind of iffy I think it's iffy today on this Friday, but it's always fun. Yeah. We drop Emily off, and then it's like a day date for me and Elizabeth because we don't have to work and we don't have Emily to deal with. So it's kind of fun.
You totally need to go to Chicago, just you two, like, and be back by the time she's out of school, and just like not let her.
I thought about maybe like Thursday night. I know everyone knows it's kind of pre-recorded a little bit, so I'm thinking maybe Thursday night we stay there, and like my in-laws take Emily to school to give us a little buffer, but we'll see what happens.
All right, sounds good. Okay, well, you'll have to give us an update Sunday night on the live call-in show. We'll hear about all the adventures, the Good Friday adventures around downtown Chicago, which there can be lots. Okay, so we're going to talk about my trip that I was very lucky to get to head out to Disneyland last week. I was out there from Wednesday through Friday, very quick trip. My second time at the Disneyland Resort. We're out there for a media kind of thing to promote the brand new Disney 100 Years of Wonder celebration is actually what it's called. But on social media, you'll see the hashtag Disney 100 is kind of what they're going with. Now, Scott and I talked about this on Wednesday. I was going to ask Ricky, because Ricky, I know you didn't work. You're on maternity leave, but I know you were going and you saw your coworkers today. You're out and about showing Lucy off and so forth. I remember those days. Did you happen to see the sizzle reel that was released today for the Disney 100 promotion?
So I saw it, but I didn't get to watch it because I couldn't. I was when I saw that they got it released, that was at Panera. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna watch it loud at Panera. So I saw that it got released and saw good things from it. So I think it looks really exciting, and I can't wait to actually press play and hear it instead of just seeing it go through my timeline.
Yeah, when you hear it, it hits you in all the heartstrings, right? It's what Disney does best, and it's one of those. Disney has done this for years and years. It's why we love going to the parks. It's like why you love the movies. It's like why we do the show. It's those touching moments of your little girl interacting with a stormtrooper, this girl that's cannot hear, interacting with Tinkerbell, and Tinkerbell signing the word Tink to her, and she just lights up that wow, a Disney character can do sign language and speak my language, because probably not expecting that. And the parents, that's special to them that they can have that connection. It's, what I think is cool about these kind of sizzle reels, and you can go check it out on any social media, is that I think we all get to bring in our own perspectives to what we see in that. Like if you're a movies fan, you probably got a kick out of seeing the Avengers stuff or the, Pixar stuff or the Disney animation stuff. But if you're like me, I'm not a movie guy that much. I saw the little girl just look up at the stormtrooper, and you could tell the stormtrooper, I couldn't hear what the stormtrooper said, but the girl just went, like, because he must have just told her to freeze or something. She could not believe it. She's probably like 2 years old. And just seeing a grown man like me get to meet Chewbacca. Like that was probably, he's probably 50 now, but that was him when he was 4, getting to meet Chewbacca. Finally, 4 decades later, it happened in Galaxy's Edge. It's that kind of stuff. Scott, we kind of talked about this, but I mean, I think that's what Disney has us just right there, wrapped around their pinky. In 1 minute, they just keep us coming back.
Because there's so many things, there's so many like connections, because they own so many properties, because with the Star Wars and the Marvel and the history of, I mean, that's why it's Disney 100, right? I mean, you're going back to those early days of the early classic princess movies like Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. Like they just got you, and when you put like a good score, like a good background and like some Walt speaking and anything like that, like it gives you all the feels. You don't even have to be like a crazy park goer like we are. Like my dad could probably watch that and feel something, and he's never been before. You know what I mean? It just gets everybody, and that's what they do best. It's so good.
I agree.
I haven't even seen the thing yet, and like I'm already crying.
You gotta see it, because of course it starts off with Walt. As soon as it starts off with Walt talking, it's like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, that does it immediately. Yeah, Walt talking. Okay, I'm a big puddle of tears. Yeah,
it was Walt talking, and then the train going in front of the train station at Disneyland. I'm like, I mean, like I was just there. Like it was just ripped my heart. I'm like, that's my. And here, and Alfred actually mentioned this in the live chat, and we kind of talked about this on Saturday or on Sunday night's live call-in show. Is that I'd never been to Disneyland until this past July when I went out with Scott and his family and my family. We had a great time. We were out there for a week, and this was my first time back. And this time it felt comfortable. Like it immediately, like I knew where stuff was. Like I knew how to navigate.
That's awesome.
I'd stayed at the Disneyland Hotel in July. I stayed at the Disneyland Hotel again this time. Last time I was in the Frontier Tower. This time I was in the Fantasy Tower. But
next time you're going to be in the Adventureland Tower.
Well, no, you can keep me in the Fantasy Tower. It was cool. But I'll take any of them. It's fine. But it was one of those things that I was solo too, which was kind of a bummer. I'd rather been there with my wife, my girls. That's one of those things. But stuff was they're busy. I had to go out there and solo. So that's what I did. But it just felt comfortable, even though I hadn't been there that much. Walt Disney World, I don't even think about things. You just been there so many times, just like going to the mall in St. Louis. Like I know places in Disneyland better, or Disney World, than I know places in St. Louis, because it's just, we've done it so much. But it kind of felt comfortable out there. Of course, there's still things I hadn't done, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I got to do so many new things this trip, because you just still can't do everything. So I really focused on new things, but it's just one of those things that I just want to tell people that are Walt Disney World fans, because I was that for at least 15 years. Everybody said, Mike, you got to go to Disneyland. Everybody said that. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go someday. And I just kept in the back of my eyes, like, I don't need to go there. It's small. It's only got 3 hotels. It doesn't have the Skyliner. It doesn't have the boats. It doesn't have, water parks. It's just, it's in the middle of a city. Like you can see the Denny's. I keep hearing that. Like, that's not me. I want to be in a bubble. But I'm telling you what, I was in the bubble the whole time I was there. I took a lift from LAX, got dropped off at the Disneyland Hotel, got picked up for a lift at Disneyland Hotel to go back to LAX, and never left the bubble of Disneyland. And I never saw the Denny's because I never went past the Esplanade. It was wonderful. And even if you're a Walt Disney World and you're skeptical, a Walt Disney World fan, you're skeptical, give it a shot. And this Disney 100 is an excellent opportunity to get out there. And I'm going to talk about a few reasons why, and then I'll get into some of my other stuff that I did just as like a vacationer. One of the things that we got to do, it was super cool, that I think parallels an experience at Walt Disney World that many of you, if you've been to Walt Disney World, you've done something similar. They have a thing out at Disney's California Adventure called the California Food and Wine Festival. So it's very much akin to Food and Wine Festival at Epcot, Or, Flower and Garden Festival. They have the little kitchens, the little booths all set up on the promenade around California Adventure. They only have 11 kitchens. But here's the thing. You might say, oh, only 11. Like Epcot's got what, like 40 or so, probably. Yeah, I don't know the exact number. Ricky, how many do they usually have? Like 40, 50? They have a lot.
No, there's like 20. Yeah.
It feels
that
way,
there's a lot
but
more.
There's really not that many. Yeah.
There's a lot more than California Adventure, I think.
It's probably like 20. It's probably like 20, 25.
Okay. Somewhere. Either way, though, here's why I really enjoyed California Adventure, because of this is kind of the theme of everything Disneyland. Everything is so doggone close. Like you could go from one booth, like 50 yards, you're 50 feet, you're at the next booth. Like they're just kind of like in pods. And here's another tip. If you're going to go out there, I got a couple tips for you. If you're going to go now, this festival only runs through the end of April. It runs through, let me show my badge here, through April 25th. So you don't have much time left on this one. But if you go, you can order your food at any kitchen and pick it up at any other kitchen. So my hack was I went to the kitchen that sold Impossible Burgers, which never had a long line. Sorry if you like those, because I know some people do, but it always had the shortest line. So I'd always go to that booth, order my food, order my chicken wings or my sliders or my IPA hot dog or that was wrapped in a pretzel, whatever. I'd go there and then just because it wasn't far away, I just walk over and pick up my Cuban slider, whatever it was. So that's a tip if you're going out there. It's great because everything is close. The other thing is they sold these passes called the Sip and Savor Pass. Now, I know Disney World has those like gift cards, but this thing was exactly like the Year of a Million Dreams Dream Fast Pass. It used to have 8 tabs around the outside. There are no tabs left.
Yeah.
There are 0 tabs left. I'm showing it here on the video on YouTube and Facebook because Mike ate all 8 tabs worth of food. So what you do is you can get anything off their menu. They're like, you can't get a flight of beer at the thing, any like regular item, either a drink or a, food item off their menu, and you just redeem a tab. And so you went around and you just give them a tab. And so it's on a lanyard. You buy it right as you go into California Adventure. Everybody had these things. Like so many people had these things, and it makes it so easy to go around and just snack. And I used it for 2.5 days because I get like 2 snacks here and 3. Yeah, it's great.
It's perfect because it keeps those like lines moving too. Because you think like, okay, someone's getting their credit card out, or they're trying to pay cash, or even if you're using like a gift card, that takes time to run the transaction. Here, boom, you just peel off one of those tabs, and you're good. And you can prepay it too. Like we always talk about. It's so much nicer to prepay for things like that. So I like the tab.
I wish we had that.
Again, those are 2 things I wish they could somehow bring to Epcot, because this, everybody just wore this around their neck. I mean, everybody had these on the California Adventure, and you just walk up there, boom, hand a tab. And, the thing was like, and everybody was figuring it out. You could order it, I want the Cuban slider, and I was ordering at the Impossible Burger stand. They didn't, it was right there on the computer. They give you
that's a way you can make magic for a guest too. You always talk about the old fast pass days where like you're walking out of the park. Oh, I have these fast passes. Let me give them away. Now I know you and me, Mike, especially, like, we're not going to waste any tabs on food and beverage, but you never know. You might buy that for 8 and you might have 2 left. Then you can just do a kind gesture and give it to a guest.
I thought of that, but the rule is like, your tab has to be attached to your card at the time you hand it to the cast member. So I wanted to bring this home as a memento because it has the dates on it and stuff. So I would have had to have given them the entire like lanyard, the big plastic. It had to still been attached. So
that makes sense too, because there could be like some bending of the rules with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I thought of that though, because I was like, well, if I have a couple left over, I'll hand them over to somebody because I'll be going home. And I want.
No, that makes sense.
No, I ate all 8 things, so I did not have that problem. So that was really cool, and it's one of those things like. They have all those tables set up kind of right there in that little park area in front of World of Color. The weather wasn't perfect out there, but it's not so stinking like humid. It's like, it was comfortable to eat, to snack. It was just wonderful.
It's a good time of year to have it there in like, March. How long does it run for? Like, do you know?
Yeah, it was March 3rd to April 25th. So it's a short. Okay. That was what shocked me too, right? I mean, the festivals at Epcot are what, like 6 months long, and this thing is
6 weeks maybe. Yeah, I like it. That's a good amount.
You did something similar though. You said during the holidays at one point that was kind of similar.
So kind of like how they do at Epcot. They do like the festival, like of the holidays. They do something similar or they used to at least at DCA, and that's where my experience was. And very similar to yours, you know, like the booths all seem to be like really compacted together. Like you don't have to bounce very far between booths, and just made it really nice and convenient. And man, I'll tell you, there was some good food at those booths, and sounds like they're still doing the same thing over there right now, which I get 2 thumbs up approval for.
Yeah, I did the same thing for the Festival of the Holidays. It's really great over there. So yeah, it's really great.
And you can tell what Scott. So I left on my last day in the park was Friday. I was there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Crowds were super low. Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, I was just going on everything, and I had park hoppers with Genie Plus. So I was just like, I think I went back and forth from Disneyland in DCA on Thursday. I think like 4 or 5 different times because I just kept going back and forth. It was so easy, and I was by myself. Right. So I was like, I'm going to go use one of my things. I don't want to, I have a free meal here, so I'm not going to pay for food. I'm going to go get that because it's lunchtime. Now go back to Disneyland. But the Wednesday and Thursday, because the weather wasn't great in the mornings, I think that helped. Like the locals probably like, it's kind of chilly. It's raining in the morning, but then the rain would stop like at 11 and the sun would come out and it was great. But in the morning, it wasn't perfect. So the crowds were like, great. Friday, I went back to the hotel to take a nap at around 2:00 in the afternoon. I came out of the Disneyland hotel to go back to the park like at 5 to, because it was my last day in the park. I was flying home at 6 a.m. on Saturday. I'm like, okay, I'm just like, I've done all my rides I want to do, right? I'm just going to go see Fantasmic at Disneyland and go get a couple snacks. This is like, house money at this point. I walk out. I text Scott. I'm like, what happened? Southern California was in downtown Disney in the parks. It was crazy, but it made sense, right? It's a locals park, but the difference in like 3 hours from 2 to 5, I could have crowd surfed like all the way across the Esplanade. I mean, it was not that, but it was shocking how quickly, like at 5:00, everybody must have got off work and like, we're doing, it's date night at Disneyland, like in the old days or something. It was wild. Mm-hmm. I didn't care because I was just, I wasn't trying to do anything. I was just watching Fantasmic.
It's unbelievable though. Like, I mean, that happens like, especially on a Friday, you're really going to see that, but like even on a Wednesday, like you could just, you could be in there all day. And then like, normally you would think the crowds would like thin out. People are ready to go home. It's the opposite. People want to come in that just got done working. It's so funny.
Yeah, total. Yeah, you're right. In Walt Disney World's the opposite. Man, it was just like, whoo, hello. Okay, so a couple other things I want to tell you about that are special to Disneyland that are happening. Wondrous Journeys, which is their new fireworks show in Disneyland Park. Very cool. So let me tell you what's special. Obviously awesome fireworks, but you can see a different show in 4 different locations within the park. Cool. We saw it projected. We had a spot where we saw it projected on Small World, but you can also obviously see it projected on the castle. It's projected on the buildings on Main Street, USA. And every one of these is a different show. Like they have different elements. They're probably similar. This is what they told us. I only got to see it once. So I don't, they could be blowing smoke, but I'm sure they are different. But I mean, the music's the same, right? I'm sure they are different. And there's a 4th location. Where would the 4th location be? I can't remember. I didn't
so when they did Disneyland Forever, there was one like where Fantasmic was. So I don't know if that's where it was.
But I saw it at Small World, and that was, because I'd never seen, back at Small World. We saw it in July on the castle. We saw the fireworks from Main Street, which was awesome. And if you see it on Main Street, you get to see Baymax fly over the castle. I didn't get to see that. I should have looked over that way, but I didn't. But here's the thing about that show. It has a segment. If you're watching the projection, so again, you want to get close if you really want to get the perspective on this show with the fireworks. It's just like Walt Disney World now, where you gotta, you can see the fireworks from Seven Seas Lagoon at Walt Disney World, but you don't get the projections, you don't get the story. So you want to see the projections because in this new show, they have a clip from all 62 Disney animated features within the show. Even the new one that's coming up. I think it's called Wish, she said. Awesome. Is that a new one that's coming up? In the transitions are butterflies, and butterflies, there's some symbolism with that. They're in a lot of movies. I forgot what she said.
So I love the animated film, so I would love this.
And it's a good fireworks show. It was.
Mike's never seen half the animated films, so he doesn't know what any of them are. Yeah.
But the music, it's the whole thing, right? I was talking with this wonderful woman who she's another travel agent. She lives in Kansas City, and we got to talking at a couple of the events that we did, and she was super nice. And it was one of those things, like she has older kids like me, And at the end of the fireworks show, we're kind of standing there and I'm kind of choked up, right? And I'm like, isn't this terrible? Like, I am a 49-year-old dude by myself here, and I'm like choked up over a fireworks show, over animation on Small World and this fireworks show. And I'm like, this stuff gets me every time. And it's like, because it brings back these memories of, my older daughter, Paige, and, doing this one time. And, Mallory, my younger daughter, who's now almost 16, doing it. She's like, I get it. She's like, Disney pulls on our heartstrings with these shows. They know exactly, they can bring the new, but they bring the nostalgia at the same time. And she was exactly right. I mean, Scott, we talk about this all the time that, we've talked about this ad nauseum this week about, the transition from Happily Ever After. Wishes was our show back in the day, but Wondrous Journeys, a new show, a new fireworks show, yet it still stirs those emotions from years gone by.
Sounds great. Yeah. I mean, this really ties into that Disney 100 theme too, right? I mean, because you're getting like the 100 years of animation or whatever. Like, I mean, it's just, yeah, this sounds like a fireworks show that's like meant for me because I love the animation, and I have all these ties to even when I was younger. So Mike, I know you might not have that tie. You had the tie with your kids, right? But you probably didn't necessarily watch these shows when you were younger. Maybe you did. I don't know. But like, I just have this weird memory of like 101 Dalmatians just being like my favorite movie of all time. And if I ever hear like any bit of that soundtrack, like I just get like this excitement and like goosebumps. Like it's just the weirdest thing. And like, I just feel like I would be experiencing that the entire time watching this show.
Yeah, that's very true. Ricky, I mean, do you have something like that? Because it was weird because, obviously it was packed all around Small World, and you would hear people like just wail and scream for when a random character popped up on Small World, and it would be like you said, like Fox and the Hound or something, something that wasn't a huge blockbuster, but that must have been their connection or their childhood memory.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could totally see, there's the first movie that I remember actually seeing in theaters was actually Oliver and Company. So like that's a movie nobody ever talks about, but like that's the first one that I remember actually seeing, and that has a fun little soundtrack to it too. So I could see where people would just lose their minds over the movies that they grew up as kids, and even some of those unique ones. Like nobody ever talks about Oliver and Company, but that's absolutely the first movie that I ever saw.
You talk about that soundtrack, got Billy Joel in the Disney movie. Like,
yes, exactly. So yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Oh my gosh.
Apple
yeah,
Music.
You probably didn't even know that Oliver and Company was a movie that Disney did. Yeah.
I heard about it. I mean, I knew it was a movie. I've never seen it, but I have Disney Plus. I'll have to check it out. Okay, so one other thing though, Disneyland has a nighttime parade. I mean, come on, it's awesome. Magic Journeys, or no, it's called. That's not Magic Journeys. What's the name of it? Why am I thinking? I got that stuck in my head now. I'm thinking of
like Magic Journeys from Epcot.
Yeah, because now I got Magic Journeys.
Yeah, that's not it.
Stuck in my head. It's not. It's
no. And it's not Paint the Night, right?
It's not Paint the Night. It's the one that came out right before COVID, and they brought it back in 75%.
Magic Happens.
Magic Happens. Why do I have Magic Journey?
I
kept hearing this song. I just kept hearing because I think back to the Magical Mouse radio days. Magic Journey. Because whenever that song would come on, I'd be like, "This is the trippiest song."
It is such a trippy song,
dude. Like it is trippy, and Emily would like. Emily loved it though when she was younger. Really? She would like always want me to play. Dad, can you play Magic Journeys?
Oh my
God. She hates it now, but she loves it.
Yeah.
It's been a week. I'm just telling you. There's a country song called "It's Been a Year." It's been a week. I'm just telling you. Anyway, so yes, this parade, they have a nighttime parade. It's awesome because again, it's a nighttime parade and it has contemporary folks that the kids get excited about. Okay, here's the one thing I was confused about, and I wanted to bring this back to you. You got to see. I mean, it's obviously there's not, it's parade that has beautiful floats. It's got great upbeat music. It's got all the scores that you like. It's got Tiana. It's got Frozen. It's got Moana. Who's the guy, the big guy in Moana?
Maui.
Maui. Yeah, he was pretty cool in the parade. I liked him. But it has Merlin, like the wizard. So is he in that new movie that's coming out? Is that why he's in that? Or is he in a Disney movie?
No, he's in a movie, The Sword and the Stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this Merlin, here's the thing. Like they told us, before we went to the thing, like the day before, like, hey, watch Merlin. He's got moves. And this old like wizard guy on top of this float, man, he is like busting up. Like he's got dance moves. I'm like, this is like unusual for a Disney parade. Because like the princesses and the princes, they're all proper during the parade. Nope, Merlin's up there with his like stick, and he's like doing like it's like, it's almost like techno music. It was a weird float. Like I was like, this is pretty awesome, but it's kind of out of place, but it was fun. It was cool.
It's a nighttime parade, Mike, something that we've been just wanting back so badly in Florida. And yet they have one in Disneyland. Seems unfair.
It does, but it was, again, it gives the park like a reason to be there at night. That and the fireworks, again, it's just like the old Wishes Spectre Magic combo. It was wonderful. So make sure you do that. I wanted to hit, because we're about halfway through the show at least, some of the stuff that I got to do as a first timer, just as a vacationer, because that's what you'll probably be doing as you go out as a guest to Disneyland. And some of the stuff I never got to do my first trip, and I had so much fun. So probably the top thing that I did, and this is so random, was the canoes. I got in because, I mean, when you're solo, right, you just like, what do I want to do? Yeah. So I got on, what are they, the Davy Crockett canoes, or the Davy Crockett canoes, right? Mm-hmm. So no line for this, obviously, and there's a reason. So you get on these on the rivers of America. Of course, you can ride the sailing ship Columbia. You can ride the Mark Twain, which is like the Liberty Bell at Walt Disney World. You can, you take the raft over to Tom Sawyer Island. There's lots of things you can do, but I was like, I saw the canoes go by earlier in the day, and I'm like, dang it, I got to try that. Like I know they have the cast member races. That's like a thing at Disneyland. Yep. They do that like once a year. And, I mean, this is one of those things, like when I saw the canoe go by, I told myself, I said, Mike, I can't believe that is a thing in 2023, that they have people on that dirty river with oars, like in a free floating canoe, because that thing literally could tip over. Like, it's not on a track. It's a for real canoe. So I'm like, I got to do it. Like, when you're in Rome, right? I called my wife. I'm like, dude, I'm getting ready to row a canoe. Like, I'm not putting on a life vest, so pray for me. Because the little girl in front of me, man, they're putting them on life vests and everything. I'm like, this is for real. Like, they're putting life vests on kids to do this attraction. This is whacked. So anyway, I get in. I'm in the second to right seat from the front. Whole boat's full of Dodgers fans. It's opening day for baseball. Obviously, a lot of Dodgers fans. I think there's a couple Padres fans. There were so many people with their baseball gear on, which I thought was super cool. I'm decked out in Cardinal stuff. So, of course, the cast member. So the way this works is there's a cast member on the front of the boat and a cast member on the back of the boat. The cast member on the front of the boat kind of tells you when to row. And the guy in the back, it was a guy. He was like, he steers. Like, he takes his oar and makes sure that you don't run into the boats and, the sides and stuff. So we get out there. And he, tells you put your oar up over your head, and then, put your hands in the right place. And then he tells you stroke. Well, so I'm the second seat. I'm sitting behind like a 7-year-old girl in front of me. And that is so bad. Don't do that, because this 7-year-old girl was taking this dirty water from Rivers of America and just like splashing me with it. Like, so what I ended up doing, instead of trying to paddle, I'm just trying to use my oar to keep her oar from splashing me.
You're playing defense.
Yes, I'm playing defense because this girl, and I don't want to be mean, but I mean, I'm pretending like I'm an idiot, right? I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't get the cadence, so I'm just like, boom, smacking her oar, boom. Cause like, she was like pouring water. Like, we would have sunk if I'd just let her just keep throwing that water back into the boat. And her dad did not care. Like, next to her, didn't care. Like, I was getting drowned, like this drowned. Like, she just kept throwing it on me, and I didn't have like a raincoat. A lot of people wore raincoats. I didn't know, but it was one of those things, like, you just don't get something like that anywhere else. And so I've rowed a canoe with a bunch of Dodgers fans around Rivers of America. That was awesome. Another thing that I got to do was I got to do the subs, because those were closed when we were there in the summer. Now, Ricky, have you done the subs at Disneyland?
I have. It's been a very long time, but I did them. I did them as Finding Nemo, though, not as the 20,000 Leagues. Were. Yeah. But I did do the subs, but they were closed the last time I was. Actually, the last 2 times I was there, so I did not get to do them recently. But they're interesting. Yeah.
I was a little worried I'd be claustrophobic in these things, right? Because they look super tight. But when I was like, you know what? I just have to do it. Like, I used to not fly. I regret that. Get in line, Mike. Ride the subs. So I got in, sat down, and when they closed the hatch, I kind of went, but then I was fine. I was like, I'm okay. Like, and the thing is, the roomier that they look, like, there's plenty of room in there. They're not super tight. They're not that bad. And it was a cute little attraction. And again, it's nostalgic. Like, that goes way back. Scott, have you done the subs?
Yeah, I love the sub. So it's like it's very similar to the Finding Nemo ride at Epcot, and I like the subs so much better. Like I don't know what it is because maybe because the ride vehicle is like so unique compared to like
I get
anything
that.
else. So
Yeah.
like it's very similar to like the Finding Nemo that you see at the seas,
It's
but I just like it so much better because yeah, the perspective is just so much different. But I want to say like the same soundtrack is happening like in the background when you're on the subs too that you have at Epcot. So very similar attraction, but it's fun. I like it. I'm glad you did it,
It
Mike.
is. Yeah, I
it's
am too.
different.
And Deanna's asking if it was claustrophobic. I mean, if you have claustrophobia, it kind of was like at very first, like when they closed the hatch. But then you just got to look around and be like, the ceiling was probably, 10 feet above my head. There was plenty of room in there. And you just got to tell yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you're not really going down like 20,000 leagues under the sea. Like you're just like scooting around a lake. You got to remember, like they could pop, you're really not going under a mountain or anything. Like you're fine. Like you're good. That's what you just got to tell yourself. So yeah. And she says like I was worried I would panic. And for like a split second, I thought I might, but I'm so glad I did it and it was fine. And what I did too was I videotaped in front of me in the porthole. So that kind of kept me busy. I was trying to find, like, where's Nemo? Because the first part of the ride, Nemo, you're not looking for Nemo. You're just kind of looking around like divers and clams and stuff like that. But it's a neat little thing. Okay, let's see what else. I got to spend some time. Oh, the other one thing they had us see, I forgot about this, was World of Color 1, which is the new updated World of Color. And so if you're an Avengers fan or a Star Wars fan, you got to see this show. And I don't want to give too many spoilers. If you've seen World of Color, it's a special show, right? Okay, I don't know how you guys feel about World of Color, but I kind of loved it in July.
It's awesome.
The thing was, like, I couldn't believe how, like, I think what I fell in love with, one was the music for World of Color and just the background with the Mickey's Fun Wheel and the Incredicoaster, like that backdrop looks fake, but it's real, like those are real attractions. But also how many of those like spritzes of water they have going on all at once. Like in that lagoon, they don't have like 50, they must have like 200 like at a time. And the fact that those colors will keep their solid red or green or yellow color, 100 feet into the air. Like it doesn't lose like 100 feet up, it'll still be yellow. It's great. Like the visuals of that show are amazing. Where would you rate World of Color when it comes to nighttime spectaculars? Like as far as Walt Disney World and Disneyland? Like,
yeah. I think if I were going to watch a spectacular, that would be one of them that I would choose to watch. Definitely. It tells a great story. The movies that are represented are really fantastic, and the method that they show the story is really great too. I think that's kind of what they wanted to do with Harmonious, but it just didn't quite hit it. And so, I think it definitely is one of my favorite nighttime shows. And I don't see a lot of nighttime shows, so for me to say that actually means a lot. So,
yeah, no, yeah. Scott, I know we're out there. You made a point that we're going to have a good spot. We saw it right up on the front of the rail because that's how you really, I think you really like World of Color. And this is a plus version, I think, of it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of World of Color. Like what got me though, so my first time seeing it was over the 60th anniversary several years ago. And they had, we talked about it earlier in this episode tonight about Walt speaking, and it had a lot of Walt in it, lots of, so that like just, grew my attraction to, to World of Color. Like, oh my God, like I was crying and all this, like, this is the greatest thing ever. And since then I've seen like different versions of it, which is kind of cool how they can do that, right? Like they can just like bring stuff in and out to make it like feel fresh. So that's one thing I really like about World of Color is like, it has like this, you can do it multiple times and maybe have different experiences because you could stand somewhere else, right? You could stand further left or stand further back. Like there's so many perspectives of World of Color that you can do, which is why it's one of the top rated things for me to do at Disneyland.
Yeah, you definitely have to set aside a night to go see it. And again, like I said, there's some Avengers in there that's pretty cool. And I'm not an Avengers fan, but I thought it was awesome. And if you're a Star Wars fan, I'll just say, I mean, not really a spoiler, but the Millennium Falcon like flies over. It's awesome. You just got to see it. And Walt does talk in this one too. So you get that. It's not gone.
Yeah. Another perspective I wanted that show, speaking of perspective, is like if you have one of those like theme park view rooms over there, you could watch it from your room. Like, can you imagine? Like just like from your bed watching World of Color?
Yep, the Grand
my gosh.
Californian. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. So let me just give some tips. Okay, obviously we kind of talked about this on Wednesday. At Disneyland, if you can get there at Rope Drop, Disneyland Park, DCA too, but especially Disneyland. If you get there when the park opens, you can get so much done. I think it's more than Walt Disney World. Like, I think it's more than the Magic Kingdom. Like, especially you just go back to Fantasyland. Like, you can go on, you can just go on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. You can go on Peter Pan. You can go on Snow White. You can go on Pinocchio. You can get on the Storybook Canal boats. You can do Alice. The thing is, like Scott told me when I didn't know what to expect in July. Everything is so close together. You walk off one ride and literally 50 feet, you're at the next ride. And there's no line. You're just walking on things. Like that first couple of hours at Disneyland, I'm telling you, go at Rope Drop. And Scott, you have a good tip. If you're coming from the Eastern time zone or the Central time zone, use that in your favor because you have it's earlier or later for you.
You're awake earlier. I will say though, don't do Dumbo though. If you rope drop and you do Dumbo first, like I don't know what it is because it's like slow loading. They only have the one. Where at Walt Disney World you have two of them going. You could waste a lot of time in line at Dumbo. I don't know why it is, but at Disneyland, everyone goes to Dumbo. Like I like to go to Alice in Wonderland, or like you said, like maybe Peter Pan or Toad. But like I love, there's something about starting in Fantasyland because, like you said, there's like 9 to 10 things you can do there, like all compacted right there. You can knock it all out in a couple hours. It's so awesome.
And it's the essence of Disneyland. Like I love Fantasyland at Disneyland. Like
it's my favorite land. It's so
good.
I feel like I'm in like 1955 or something.
Classic. It's classic.
And especially in the morning, like the first couple hours, like when you're going back and forth from attraction to attraction, like you literally will walk into like Peter Pan or like Hook. This happened to me. I was walking across and Alice and the Mad Hatter were sitting down having tea with a kid at a table.
That is awesome.
And so then I hear this band playing. The band is on the carousel. Like the carousel's going, but the band is playing on the carousel.
Cool.
See, they do some cool stuff out there. Yeah. Because they don't get hounded like they would at Walt Disney World. Like, but Mike, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you got to experience the updated Toontown as well, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about Mickey Runaway Railway or the queue? Because the videos I've seen of that queue just look so cool.
The queue is so cool. Yeah.
The queue is obviously a step up from Florida because again, they learn, right? And they retrofitted the Great Movie Ride to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. But they take guest feedback and this is more whimsical, obviously, and it's got a lot of, I think they said this queue has more hidden Mickeys in it than any other queue and any other Disney attraction. That's what they told us. So if you're a hidden Mickey fan, look for that. The ride itself is exactly the same. It's a clone. But I will tell you about Toontown itself. Let me give you a couple of tips there. There's a place in the back where you can get picnic lunches. Okay. So, and you can mobile order these. And you get this cute little picnic basket. Like it's a plastic little basket. I think the meal's like $30 or something. And there's all these green spaces. It's AstroTurf. It's not real grass, but there's all these. It's not. I thought it was just like one space, but there's not. There's like 4 or 5 little different separate areas where you can sit and have a picnic. And I think that is super, super cool. So, and you can bring your own food. So I saw a lot of people, busting out bags of Lay's and, sandwiches they packed from home and just having a picnic as the kids kind of ran around and had a good time. So I like that. I think every park needs that. I think that's where we are. The Magic Kingdom has that now with that, space in the hub with all the green areas. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. People are taking advantage of that. There is, you guys have probably seen it on social media. Have you seen that toy they're selling now the gift shop post Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is amazing. Cause I know we don't really have one in the studios. It's just kind of a little, little cart small, like add-on cart thing. Yeah, they have a full-on store and it's got awesome merch. It's a big store. And did you see that little like replica of the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, like attraction vehicle, like where the little cars, like they're not attached to each other, but they follow each other. Dude, that's cool. So cool. It's expensive.
Did you get one of those, Mike? No,
it was like $125.
Ooh,
no, but they have a table where like kids can play with them, and the kids wouldn't give up the controller, so I never got to play with it. But
of course, I wouldn't give it up.
Heck no, I wouldn't be giving it up.
It was super cool. So check that out. Just watch it.
I wonder if that will come to World as like a.
I'm sure.
$125. Yeah, $129. I was about to say the same thing. $125. That's definitely coming. And I hope the picnic baskets come too. because that'd be really cool in the Magic Kingdom. You know, they could probably sell them at Tomorrowland Terrace, you know, and because that's closed until they start doing the fireworks show, you know, the dessert party. So do that in the afternoon. That'd be a great place to do that.
No, I agree. And they were going, like, there was a line there. People were getting them, and you could tell people were excited because, I mean, here's the thing. And I was thinking about this because, again, when you're solo, you got time to think because you're not talking to anybody. So, like, when's the last time you went on a picnic? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's like, you hear about picnics in like books and movies.
Yeah, never.
But I mean, like, you take a 10-year-old or a 8-year-old kid, they've probably never ever sat down on the ground and had a picnic.
I've never had a picnic.
I've done a few. I mean, St. Ferdinand Park.
Yeah, I've never done a picnic.
No, we did a bunch.
I do them all the time, but
yeah, I do too. But I mean, I think
we got like good parks, especially during COVID. We were doing them all the time because there's nowhere else you could go. We would just make lunch or dinner here, and then we go have a picnic. But I see what you're saying, though. Like, very rarely do you see people just like out picnicking. Yeah.
I mean, it's a novelty, and here's the educator coming into me. Like, you're giving a kid an experience that's kind of a part of Americana, right? Like, eventually a kid in school is going to read a book where the characters go on a picnic. You know what I mean? Like in Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. That's kind of the basis of the attraction. But if the kid has never sat down and had, a sandwich and some chips and a drink on the ground, they've never picnicked. So give them an experience. I mean, it's a Disney experience, but it's a picnic. So I was thinking about that. I'm like, I bet you a lot of these kids have never picnicked. Sad.
But out in California, though, it's probably like, because you got the ocean right there, so it's probably happening a lot.
It probably is. So, they're probably better than us. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I forgot about that. They live in a better place. Okay, here's the. Oh, also, there's another shop next to that one where you can buy food, and they have mini donuts that are covered with cinnamon sugar. So if you ever need a snack, it's called Daisy's something or other. You can mobile order these things. So I'm just saying, I mean, I know there's beignets over in New Orleans Square. Yeah. So that's an option.
I didn't see any beignet photos of you. Did you make your way over there?
Never got any. I know.
That's why there's so much to do at Disneyland. That's what
I didn't have a corn dog. I didn't have a corn because I was the thing is, if I wouldn't have done the Food and Wine Festival, I would have had those things. But I had 8 things at the Food and Wine Festival. So you can only eat so much.
But like so many people say, like, oh, you don't need more than 2 days at Disneyland. I always say, like, dude, I could do like 3 weeks at Disneyland if I could, because there's so much to do. Like, you were there like 3 days, didn't have a corn dog or Mickey beignets. Like, nope. I'm stunned.
No, I know. I felt sad about that, but I mean, I couldn't put any more food in my mouth. I was so full.
Yeah. Like, I just something for next time.
Exactly. Marathon. I'll be tearing it up. Half marathon. I got to save some of those favorites. Here's I think this is a game changer tip for Toontown because we got to wrap. We're going long, but and this is not just for parents that have kids that might have special needs. I think this is for anybody. This is for parents of any child, and this is for childless guests. And Disney did this on purpose. And I put a tip out on social media about this, but I want to make sure everybody hears this on the big show. Because I think Disney's really trying to think about how they can make the theme park experience the best it can be for every guest. And so in Toontown, way in the back corner, so there's a meet and greet building, Mickey's house, where you can meet Mickey Mouse and his friends. And it's kind of up in the back. You go past Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, past the place where you buy the picnic baskets and the mini donuts. It's in the very back corner. But it's a big open green area. And in the back of that, there's another green area that's covered in dark and shaded. And what this is kind of a decompression zone for kids that they're overstimulated. They've been in the park and it's just been too much. All the sights, all the sounds, all the smells, and they just need a place either just to run around, on this open green grass, or just to get in the darkness where it's a little bit cooler and just sit with their parents, maybe take a nap, and even adults, if you just need to sit on this bench back there, there's like a kind of a comfy seating bench in the shade, and it's kind of darker back there. It's almost like a little cave. Like it's great for anybody that, that has any problem with getting overstimulated. And we all get overstimulated in a theme park. I mean, dude, you're getting hit with sights and sounds and smells and, people bumping into you just nonstop at a theme park. I mean, it's fun, but eventually it wears you out. This is a great place to go. And you wouldn't think Toontown, right? That's the last place I would think to go.
Because it's so far away from everything else in the park. That's why it seems like it's a strange spot.
And I mean, the last place I want to go, like, it's stroller central on the opposite side, right? I mean, there's 7,000 strollers and you got kids that are nuts. But in this back corner, it was tranquil. It was quiet. And so if you have a child that needs a little downtime, or you need a little, I totally almost went back there and took a nap because I was just wore out. Disney thought of this. So I'm just saying, take advantage of that. If you have a child that needs that, there's a place. Just go to the back corner of Toontown. Just keep walking upper back corner to the left of Mickey's house. And I'm telling you, it could be a game changer for some families. I'm glad Disney's thinking that way.
That's awesome. Stuff. That's good. I'm glad you shared that tip. That's a really, really good one. I like it. Yeah, maybe we'll see some of that in the Walt Disney World too. You never know.
I was thinking about that back area and I almost called it New Fantasyland, but I don't know if it's been called New Fantasyland for a long time. But it's over by the train station, and I think they were gonna be like a phone charging place back in the day. But that would be a perfect place, I think, for that kind of situation.
And everybody needs that at some point, right? And it's just an option. It's somewhere that if you need it, it's there. If you don't, go on. But I thought that was
doesn't have to be for everyone, but it's good to have that option. I agree.
Absolutely. It's well thought out. So stay at the Disneyland Hotel again. Great stay. It's a wonderful deluxe hotel. I love it there because you have all the Disney history touches. You got all the photos and all that stuff. So I had a good time.
Can I ask one more quick question? Just really quick.
We got to wrap.
Did you bring back the cinnamon chips twist things for your family?
Yes. Okay. So here's the deal. Rancho del Zocalo, my favorite counter service restaurant at Disneyland, the Mexican place, is probably the only place at Disneyland Park that you cannot mobile order. Bummer. And on Friday night, apparently everybody likes Mexican on Friday night, like Mike. So I stood in this.
All the locals.
And I intentionally went there last because I was going to bring home some of those chips, cinnamon chips. So I waited in this long line, for probably 35, 40 minutes and I got a burrito and rice and beans. So good. And I got my chips and guac. They have chips that are like lime chips. So I got those to eat with my guac, and I got 2 bags of cinnamon chips, which are currently in my kitchen. One is almost gone, but the other one's still there. So,
good work.
It's Monday we're recording, so Friday.
That's actually the longest line you waited in all week was for dinner and night.
And it was going to happen. And I carried those things like I carried like you would carry Lucy, right? Ricky back on. I carried them on the plane, and,
making sure they were safe and protected.
Yeah. Dude, they went in that overhead bin, and every person that slammed a suitcase up there, I'm like, easy.
Oh no! Stop!
I was like, I have chips. My Lyft driver grabbed my bag. I'm like, no, those are going in the back seat. I don't know, back seat chips. So yeah, that's my favorite snack. Awesome. Really, I think. Yeah, they're so good, and they're just in that little brown bag. It's so homey.
I do love that spot though, because man, we can go on and on about Disney, but one of my favorite things is just relaxing, sitting somewhere and just observing and watching. And that's a great place to sit. You're right by Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. You have a pathway you can see people just walking by. I wish I was there right now, Mike.
I know. And then I just walked over and I saw Fantasmic, and I was ready for the cannon. And here's the other thing real quick. And again, here we go. Fantasmic at Disneyland is so awesome because I can't believe the stunts they do on that ship. The pirate woman and then Jack Sparrow, they are swinging on these ropes, probably 30 or 40 feet up in the air, from mast to mast. It's great. And it's dark. Again, I can't believe they do some of that stuff. It's wild and all those undead pirates on the ship. It is. Oh yeah. Oh man. It is so cool.
It's more intimate too.
Yeah, you're right.
I love it at Walt Disney World, but you're in this giant theater, it's this bigger production, where at Disneyland, you're just sitting down on some brick and it's right in front of you. It's so awesome.
Dude, I loved it. Yeah, I was watching it right next to a tree. How homey is that?
I know.
It was a branch, right next to my head. It was, I'm like, is this real? I'm in a theme park. There's a tree hitting me in the ear, like a branch. Yeah. And so I love it. It's so awesome. Anyway, so if you have any questions, Sunday night, we could talk about it, anything like that. So it was a great trip, but get out there. If you've never been to Disneyland, and I know some people it's too small. It's not for me. I said that forever. It is. Nighttime parade, great fireworks show, great hotels, great dining, especially counter service, new stuff to see. Make it happen.
Snacks,
give it a shot.
Not even just the dining. I mean, all the snacks, the corn dogs, and oh man.
And I mean, the nostalgia out there is just so thick. You're walking through it. You have to cut it with a knife. It's crazy. It's awesome. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thanks so much for hanging with us here on a Friday. We'll have the live show Sunday night. So join us on Facebook and YouTube, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. Give us a call. Don't forget, you can help us by booking your next vacation with us at the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out over at themagicforless.com this weekend. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons who support our show and make all this possible. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Join us. Get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Give Ricky a follow on the social media at Ricky Nibs, RIKKINIBS. Scott's at Epscott, EPSCOT. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. We'd all love to talk to you this weekend. So come on by. Let's have some Disney talk on the socials. All right, we're going to get out of here and let you get on with your weekend. And we'll be back again on Monday with another fun trip report for your feed. But until then, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All righty.
Okay, now I'm hungry and I want to be at Disneyland.
Me too. That was so fun.
Right? Oh, Disneyland food, so good.
Food is so good, man. Just you can't go wrong. It's everywhere.
Yeah, there was so much like we didn't even get to. Like I haven't really heard about your hotel because you got to stay in the Fantasyland Tower, which is
it was awesome because
nice.
like right out because I was on the top floor and I was right across the hall from the Blue Sky Suite, which is the big because I saw the door open. They were servicing it, and that thing is huge.
Yeah,
but I was on the side where you see the parking lot, but I mean the mountains had snow on them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It was so pretty. Like
so
I never see mountains. It was
and you didn't I didn't hear about the fun wheel. Like how was this? I know I'm just messing with you.
Hell no.
Really?
No, hell no.
I love the fun.
I love the fun wheel too. I ride the scary version. So
it's the only version I ride.
It is the only version I ride. Exactly. Yes.
I actually didn't ride because I was fighting a migraine the whole time. So I didn't ride in Credit Coaster.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's not a good migraine when your head's banging around the whole time.
I was like, it's one of those things like, do I want to make it worse? Like I just kept taking my pill and it was fine. Like it was fending it off, but
not worth it.
So I just
did ride Big Thunder though. I think I saw a selfie.
Yeah, I did Big Thunder. Yeah, I did Big Thunder. Did Space.
Yeah,
Space was cool. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, so
I love their Big Thunder.
The Big Thunder's fun.
Yeah. It is cool. Yeah,
I love Disneyland. I
do too, man. It's like I can't believe it. Like I can't believe it, but I do. I love it so much more.
Yeah,
I do. I mean,
I just wish I had an annual. I wish I had an annual pass for both.
Well, they announced today that they're not bringing that back.
They're not bringing that back? Yeah, no, they wouldn't bring that back. Also, I mean, I did have that annual pass.
I can't afford that.
I mean, it wasn't as much money when I bought it, but I did have that annual pass for a while.
I can't afford.
I just had to renew mine. I was like, oh my gosh.
I know.
At least I can renew one. I'm not trying to rub it in, Wade, but
I have to renew my pass in a couple weeks. Like it's due this month. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I got to renew mine in May, but my Disney rewards points will cover it, which is sad. I
know. That's what I use my reward, or at least a portion of them for. Yeah.
Because I only got to do one. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get out of here because I'm going to try to lay down. All right.
I'll see you, Ricky.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
See you, Lucy. Bye.
Bye.